One. All right, guys, welcome back. Most of you have drawing 4, page 123. There's 9 drawings on here. We're going to go over page 123, figure 5-70. I have that drawing already downloaded and zoomed in, so we can go over that drawing. Give me just a second. Get that up. All right, so we have, it's called 570 the cam. A is 2 5/8. 2 5/8, this circle, this diameter is going to be 2.625 or 2 5/8. We have B, which is a hole that goes through here. It's a 1 1/4 inch diameter, or 1.25. We have a 1.34 counterbore. Counterbore is basically a diameter. It goes around. It has a 1/4 inch deep, both ends. Means there's a circle on both sides that's 1 3/4 inches counterbore. The through hole in the middle is a 1 1/4 inches. Now C is 2 1/8. From here to here, to the center here is 2 1/8. D is 9/16 radius. E is 1 3/4, means 1 3/4. F is 7/8. That means from here to here is going to be 7/8 as well. Let's go ahead and go to our drawing. The easiest way to start with this one is starting on your construction line layer. Put my ortho on. Get back and get my construction line again, just to make sure I get everything going here. There's one construction line. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set a construction line here, but since it's got rounded edges, you're really not going to be able to start with a rectangular side here because your front view is going to have a circular shape to it. So let's go back to our drawing, get our sizes again. So I'm going to start with my first circle, which is going to be A, 2 5/8. 2 5/8. What I'll do is change my circle size to a diameter. You're right there, 2 5/8 or 2.625. Zoom in a little bit. Your next circle size, your interior circle is going to be B, which is 1 1/4. Back to your diameter circle, 1.25. Get back to your drawing. This is where we work on the counterbore part. That counterbore is 1 3/4 inches. That counterbore only determines the surface. The 1/4 inch deep determines the depth of that. So let's go to the drawing. 1 3/4 inch counterbore. Get our circle tool again. 1.75. Now basically we have everything in that bottom section drawn. So we need to go back here. We know the distance from the center to this center is C, which is 2 1/8. Get my line tool. My ortho is still on, so 2.125. It's 2 1/8. Draw a little flag out there to the side, just to show me where that line ended up at. I know my circle at the top, my rounded edge at the top is 9/16 radius. So change that back to a radius tool. 9/16. And as you saw there, I just waited till it got to 9/16. And then the only thing we have to finish for the front view is to make sure we have our tangent lines drawn from here to there. And you see where that's snapping in the tangent, that's just allow it to snap there. and let it click. That means those lines are going to be touching no matter what you're doing here. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set my construction lines going across. But what I'm actually going to do first is I want to draw a line from this edge here over 2 inches to make sure it stays 2 inches away. Draw a little flag up. And then I'm going to get my construction lines and I'm going to come all the way across right there. You don't need to do the bottom of that top circle. You just need to do the next one. That line, you can type in Excel and get the same construction line there. Type in Excel again to get your construction line, or you can get the construction line from the top. Either way you want to do that. Or we can just copy this line. I'll give you 3 different ways to get that line. Hit enter, select your base point. Base point is your tangent point. Just keep coming down. Just make sure you stay tangent with all those lines there. Now, I know I've got my height for this now. Now, what I can do now is I can get my construction lines going up. The first thing I need to do is offset I need to come up here 2 inches, or I can offset this line, this construction line here 2 inches. So I'm going to offset that construction line 2 inches and click. And then I'm going to take my construction line right here, I'm going to copy that one. And that's not going to work as well for me because I don't have a point of tangency on that line. So what I'm going to do is get me another construction line here, go straight up and down. Then I'm going to copy that line, set my tangency point as my center point. Just go through here and snap as we go. And now all of my sides from my front view are actually transferred to my top view. Now, going back to my drawing real quick, I know from the front edge of this device here to the back edge is 1 3/4 inches. So what I can do with this line right here, I can actually offset that line 2 inches to meet my flag. And now I'm going to offset that 1 3/4 this way, 1.75. And then I'm going to offset this one 7/8. All right, 7/8 is 0.875. But you want to keep going this direction, 0.875. The reason you kept your mouse over to the right is to make sure that line hit in the middle there. Now, I can offset this line here that way 1.75 because I know that's how thick that is. I can offset this one again, 0.875, with holding that line up there. And now basically we have everything drawn for, all we need to do now is go back into our object line layer, zoom in. I'm going to use my start center end circle. So I know That one starts there. I went the wrong direction. And ends there. And then my line tool goes right here. May have to turn off my ortho for that. Guess what? I'm gonna have to zoom in a little bit. And you see my circle here, I'm gonna have to create a longer arc there. All you do is click the edge of it. Doesn't change your diameter, it just changes that arc length. I can actually take this line here and just mirror that across the line here. And though I don't want to erase the source object, I do want to stretch this end of the arc out again until it snaps. And then I'm going to take my start center arc again. I went the wrong direction that time. And then you take your circle tool here, your diameter tool, and because that diameter on the outside there, 2 5/8 or 2.625, then your circle over here is 1.75, I believe, 1 3/4, 1.75. And your circle here is 1 1/4 or 1.25. Then basically what we have to do is we're blocking in this side right here. Coming straight down from there to there. And actually, that's not where it starts. So excuse me just a second. Yeah, it does start right there. I had to grab the right line there. Comes all the way up there, right to there, back down, comes all the way down to here, really. And the reason I didn't come all the way down was because if you look at your drawing, example, that line is not showing up on this side. So that's why that line doesn't come all the way down. Now I know my hidden lines come through here. I know this is the center line all the way through. And I know I've got to come in on either side, but I can change that in just a moment anyway. Now I know, because the drawing tells me it does, it's a 1/4 inch, the counterboard's 1/4 inch deep on both sides. What I need to do with that, I take this line here, offset the 1/4 inch, 0.25 on the inside of that line, and come over here, down here, 0.25 in there. So that is now where that line, that center line, that hidden line there goes. Will come and snap right there. That hidden line there snaps right there. This hidden line here snaps right here. This hidden line here, the end of it snaps right there. Now, I have a hidden line that comes here, 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 here. And it goes on both sides of that. Now I could actually mirror that on either side, but I just find it just about as easy to do it on both sides of it anyway. If you had more than just that, you could do it on, you can mirror it. All right. Now let's go to the top view and see what we got to block in here. So let's go back to our object line layer. So our blocking in is this right here. Now you notice how this line right here it lines up with that top circle right there. It's just on the outside of that line right there. We've got to actually take that line. What we're going to do first, let me just start off this way. What I want to do first, I want to do my hidden lines here. I want to drop this line here and offset of a 1/4 inch inside, 0.25, enter. On this side and on that side. Because my hidden lines are going to go here. All right, went the wrong direction. I'm sorry. I didn't snap. Got in a hurry. Just snap all the way to the other point there. That line goes away. Sorry about that. That line should now turn this way. And we do have a line that goes right through here as well. Not that line. That's all of your hidden lines. Your object lines now. You got a line that comes through here because there shows the division in that from the top. Now, I will tell you that there are 2 other lines he's going to have to pull in, but they're going to be so close in here, I didn't go ahead and put them in here. So let's go to our construction lines. So let's go here. All right, got an invalid point there. XL, construction line. Got to zoom out and zoom back in real quick. What we may have to do is just copy that line there. And on this point right here, nope, not what I wanted. I want to copy that line, use this as my base point right there, and then escape. Now you see how close those lines are together? That's one reason I didn't do that before I did my hidden lines. And what I may have to do is, to make it easier on myself, mirror that to the other side. And that will make it, well, didn't tell it not to delete it, so. I will take that line right there and copy that. That is my base point, and move it right there. Now, when I go up here for my top view, that line on either side of that, right to the inside of that hidden line, is going to be a solid line because it's going to show from here to here. Now, I'm going to go back and zoom out, turn off my construction line layer. Then I'm going to dimension it on my dimension layer. All right, so that's 1 3/4. Dimension this one. Dimension this one. Then I'm going to come back and change my dimension area, my dimension tool, the radius, dimension that, 9/16. Change my dimension tool to diameter. And my dimension tool on this inner hole, 1 1/4. But this one here is going to be a line of text. You go and change this here. Let me go here. I'm going to actually set my so basically we're finished with the drawing except for the note we need to add on there. What is the note we need to add on there? Hit escape. The note we need to add on there is about our counterbore. We know it's a 1 3/4 inch counterbore. We know that's a diameter. We know it's 1/4 inches on both ends. So we need to write that note on our drawing to indicate that's a counterbore. So what you have to do is click in there. One 3/4 inch diameter, 1 3/4 inch counterbore, or C-bore, 1/4 inch deep. Depth, deep both sides. I think we need to add an inch mark in there. Then we hit close text editor. And your drawing is complete. Now that looks a little odd there, but you still need to show this edge as being the solid part, even if it's on top of this section here. The questions, I'll be walking around, giving some help. I'll talk to you later.